afternoon, everyone. As we wait for more people to log in, this is Invest in Africa. So I'll introduce who Invest in Africa is. So Invest in Africa is a non-profit organization. That is something that we need to understand, that we are a private sector initiative, and our purpose is to prosper African economies. We are not only based in Kenya, we are an organization that we pride in ourselves in increasing the SME participation in the economy. So one of our mission in Invest in Africa is enabling trade between MSMEs and multinationals and large corporates by enhancing MSME skills and improving access to market finance. Our target in 2025 is to have 1 million SME jobs. That is, it's big, but we believe that we are able to do that. And our target is also to have 1 billion of contracts won by our MSMEs. So our impact so far, what have we done? We have done skills. We have trained over 2,000 SMEs under the SME COVID-19 survival and recovery resilience program. This purposely for the Mastercard program. And then so far we have linked 500 SMEs to markets, and the value of that is 154 million worth of contracts awarded to SMEs. What are the jobs that we have created as an organization? As an organization, we have created 88,000 plus jobs, and we're still counting. And in terms of finance, what have we done for finance? As an organization, as Invest in Africa, we have done over 4.8 million funds facilitated to the SMEs. We are not, as an organization, we link our SMEs to finance, to access finance. We don't provide finance, but we create linkages for these opportunities. And then we've also done 2 million finance accessed by our WSMEs in Kenya. So that is our achievements. The three of them is the skills, and we also have the markets and finance. So that is our three initiatives at Invest in Africa. So as we started the program, we said that at Invest in Africa, we pride ourselves in running this program with Mastercard. So this is a project that we are running with Mastercard, and it had a 5-pronged approach. Our first approach was to create a masterclasses. We had to come up with tailor-made masterclasses. Like this masterclass is specifically for the youth and women. And that is why we're saying it's tailor-made. Specific themes for specific groups. Not all themes appeal to all the groups. And then we also have coaching. We just wrapped up our coaching, that where we were supposed to have over 70 SMEs to be coached. Coaching is a new directive. It's a new perspective. It's a new way of doing businesses. But we have realized that our SMEs have been, those who have undergone coaching, the results and the impact of coaching that they underwent, it's been amazing. You can check it out on our website, on our YouTube page at Invest in Africa. We have created stories. We have put in impact stories of how coaching has affected the SMEs, what coaching did for them. And then we also have access to finance. This is an ongoing project that we are working with Ernst & Young. And we should be able to share on our chats if you are interested in applying to be part of this process. There's also trainings for access to finance, and we also have SMEs being linked to finances, that we work with you until you get finances. If the bank says you don't have particular documentation, how are we going to help you? So that is a project that we are working with Ernst & Young. And then our other activity on the virtual toolkit is Knowledge Academy. All the masterclasses that we have done at Invest in Africa, whether it's done in Senegal, Ghana, Kenya, all of them have been merged to our Knowledge Academy. So our Knowledge Academy is a virtual library. This virtual library has knowledge on all the masterclasses we've done. It has knowledge on the things that the SMEs need to understand. How do you start your business? What do you need? So that is what we've put on our Knowledge Academy. And then finally, we did our peer-to-peer mentorship session, where our SMEs had interaction with business, as in business to business. apart from an SME that is already doing something bigger than another SME. It was an opportunity for the SMEs to learn from each other. So that is what we have done on peer-to-peer session. All these are available on our Knowledge Academy. So today's session, why are we working on this? Why are we innovating income? Why are we innovating our businesses to have an income? So the reason is that Africa has the biggest number of youth. 60% of the of the Africa population is on youth. And why are we focusing on the fact that innovation is something to have an income from? The youth are very techno savvy. So I don't think that there's a youth who doesn't have a phone. But what are they doing with that phone? What is the purpose of that phone? And how can you use that phone to improve your business? So that is the purpose of today's session. And through this forum with Invest in Africa, we are we are creating awareness that there are opportunities for the SMEs who are the youth to use technology to have an income. And because of the COVID-19, what happened with COVID-19, the COVID protocols demanded that restriction of movement, but if we are restricted in movement, how can we still make money out of it? How can we still make our businesses be viable? How can we make our businesses visible? So that is the purpose of today's masterclass. And then the other one to finally say is that Kenya is considerably way ahead in preparing the youth for the digital economy. We've seen that various organizations are participating in this, encouraging the youth to understand the digital economy. So that is the reason that we're having today's masterclass. And to introduce our speaker for the day, our speaker today is Delis Okore. Delis is the co-founder and CEO of Ubunifu College of Artificial Intelligence. So that is why we're having Delis today, because at Ubunifu, that is what they're keen on. If you have gone out there, what else can you do? What can you use technology? So I'll just be able to read Delis' profile. Delis is big in every other aspect. Delis has worked with the SMEs. Delis is a communication specialist and public policy professional with stints in media, legal, health, humanitarian, and energy sectors. During his stints, Delis has acquired board-level experience designing and implementing results-bearing business strategies. Delis is also a multi-stakeholder engagement. He's also very good with branding, reputation, driving innovation, and entrepreneurship. Delis holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in Communication and Media Technology from Barcelona University. And he also has a master's degree in policy and public policy and management, interest in agriculture and technology and innovation as drivers of trade and development in Africa. Delis is a Rotarian and a member of Public Relations Society of Kenya, PRSK. He's also a member of International Relations Society of Kenya, IRSK, Photographers Association of Kenya, and sits in the advisory boards of Economic Projects Transformational Facility. He business mentors at LPACT, where he mentors tech-based SMEs to scale. So that is just a summary of Delis' profile. I'll just be able to also say that Delis has also worked with our SMEs at Invest in Africa. He's also been able to work with our partners. That is why we have the confidence of inviting him to be part of this, because this is what Delis does. And then we'll also be able to bring in Caroline. Caroline will write from Vuma Global Women Network. So before Delis starts over, we'll invite Caroline to speak about Vuma, because they are the partners in this event. Karibu, Caroline.
Thank you so much, Felicitas. I'm happy to be here this afternoon and looking forward to learn more from my other panelists and also the people who have joined us. I take this opportunity to say that currently focusing on women and youth is the key, because we have a majority of them who have the skills and who have the capacity to do so much, but without guidance on how to start off an SME, how to manage your books, how to account, how to look out for finances. Most of them are lost, but with the organizations like Invest in Africa and now Vuma coming together, I think we are getting the numbers high for knowledge purpose so that they can be knowledgeable on what they're going through. Okay, my name is Carol Murai. I'm a director at Vuma Globe Women. And at Vuma, we are 5 ladies who came together after becoming mothers, and then we SME, we run our own SMEs. Currently, I'm in construction and export of coffee. And the challenges that came about when we were doing this is what made us come up and say, how are the other women managing? Because we are better off in a certain platform, and we are exposed to the world in terms of networking, and that gave us a challenge and said, why don't we come together and start something for the women, support of women, and support of youth. So basically at Vuma Kenya, ours is to elevate the youth and to elevate women. We do that in various positions. One is our main is table banking, and table banking has brought about several groups, which is financial stability, and for the groups to be able to borrow within themselves, because we realized, and I've seen various organizations, they are able to empower you, they are able to talk to you, they are able to bring your hopes high on what you're supposed to do. But then after that particular meeting or after that particular training, what next? So we at Vuma, and I've seen the profile for Invest in Africa when we were saying them MOU, and it shows that we will lead to a certain path, we will direct you to a certain path whereby we need other, and also can help you, guide you to where you can get your finances. We can train you like the way we've been seeing today. I think Dennis is going to talk about it. We can bring that to train you so that you are able to be all round and not just yours is to sell and how much is remaining. So I'm very happy and I'm very passionate about the youth. I'm very passionate about the women. I work with several, mostly Vuma, we are in central Kenya and we are in the western, but we are hoping to go all round, and that's one reason why we come together with Invest in Africa, so that we can be able to reach more larger areas or larger regions, so that we can be able to be there for the youth. What I would like to tell the youths who are starting SMEs or who are actually, I deal with the ones just after college and they do not know, because I call that the lost lot. Because when you are finishing your 844 in class 8, then you know you are going to the secondary education. And after that, you know you are going to college. But immediately after college, then you become like lost. You don't know what is next. You don't know whether to start your business or to go back and do your masters, or what next even after the masters. So for me is such forums where we have these webinars going on. Please join in, encourage your other members to join in so that we can be able to tap from the Invest in Africa, from the Vuma Globe, so that you are able to have a clear mind, to have a hope for tomorrow, but to have a clear mind on where next to follow. I think to move from one step to the other, so that we don't wallow up in the villages and look like we have nowhere to go. So there are so many other, we have organizations that are ready to hold you, those ones who are online. We have many organizations who are ready to hold you, who are ready to show you the way, but for information and knowledge, you have to search for it. So when you see such webinars coming on, please encourage the others to join. And with that, you'll be able to tap in onto Vuma Globe Women, and you'll be able to touch into the Invest in Africa and many others that are ready to be out and help you. I think that's it, and looking forward to learn more from the webinar. Thank you, Felicitas.
Thank you so much, Caroline. We appreciate what Vuma is doing with the women and the youth. So This stage, we welcome Dennis. Dennis will be speaking to us on why innovation and how to use innovation to create an income.
Thank you very much, Felicitas. Thank you very much, Carol, and all the Invest in Africa team for this invitation to be part of this forum. I'm quite honored to join this conversation, something that it's defining our world and something that we should all put our mind frame towards. And I'm very happy to be meeting innovators, entrepreneurs, and business people for this conversation today. I am, as Felicitas has mentioned, I've previously done some work with Invest in Africa, and I have a lot of respect for what Invest in Africa does in terms of in creating opportunities for SMEs to grow by supporting them to access skills that are positioning them for success, to be able to do business, but also supporting them to access markets and also to access finance. The topic that is ahead of us today is very important because it's an interface of all those three aspects of business, but more importantly is around informing at how we are creating our entrepreneurship journey and doing our lives around technology. That is very, very important. So today we will basically be mentioning some of the things that you already know, but my role today is to really challenge you to critically think towards how you are defining the value that you're giving and how you can be able to scale that value by leveraging technology. So that's what we'll be doing today. So if you're in agriculture, if you're in farming, if you are in pharmaceuticals, if you are in logistics, if you are in trade, just you're a retailer, how can you use technology so that you can be able to increase your income? So that's what we'll be basically be doing. But also in our midst today, there are people who are techies, who have skills on how to create, and they are grappling towards ideas of bringing their startups to life, and they're wondering how to do that. So I'll be sharing some of the skills and some of the insights that we've been able to gather. And most of the things I share here are something that we have learned as we're trying to put together Ubunifu College, because Ubunifu College is also something that has taken some thinking. We are leveraging technology, and we have a Pan-African view on how we are going to address this. So thank you very much for creating time to be here. What Felicitas forgot to mention is that I'm sure there is a hashtag that is out there. If you are on social media, talk about what you're learning, talk about insights that are coming through. And if you're in this forum, use the chat box to raise questions, and then we can have an interactive session. So welcome much into this session. I'll go direct and maybe just tell you where I am from, which is Ubunifu College. So Ubunifu College is a social enterprise academy built in Nairobi, but we have an African vision. Our focus basically is to address the competency gap in emerging and disruptive technologies in Africa, where we are focusing training the next generation of innovators, but also supporting businesses and entrepreneurs be able to adopt this technology. So things like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and such kind of things. So we are more focused on innovation, disruption. We are looking at technologies which are shaping the future. How will the future look like? And we also do a lot of collaboration, but also we are very interested in people who are inventing things, but we love also to network. So that's some of a summary I'll be able to do around that. More importantly, also we have a research and consultancy arm, and also we have something called Ubunifu Kids, which is basically to support young children being able to learn how to code and how they can be able to write programs. Why we are doing this is, number one, is to be able to support children to be able to develop their cognitive skills, and number two, to be able to help them improve on their problem solving. So as we grow up and as they grow up, they continue meeting a world of uncertainties, and how they're able to solve problems is very, very important. We also we aim to work with the private and public sector, mostly around driving in the adoption of this technology in that space, and we're already interacting with some of them. And more of it, you can look at the social media. You can go to Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, or on YouTube. You'll get to Ubunifu College, and you can visit our campus at Paramount Plaza at Ngara. Thank you very much. I want to go much into it. That's not the idea for today, but that's where I come from, and that's what I'm currently doing, and that's why I am here today. Thank you. Now, I'd like to make an introduction of our topic today in a very interesting way. I've said if in the course of this, just make it interactive, let people know what you're doing. You could tag Invest in Africa, you could tag Ubunifu, you can tag me on Twitter and what we are discussing. But I wanted to begin this from a very, very important word that we've been hearing, and this is the word digital. I want us to think about digital. Anytime when you hear about this word digital, or anytime I've heard about it, it has not stood on its own. In the recent years, it's been more of a cliche word to hear about, oh, we are being digital, and there is always a talk of digital something, digital something. So I've come across digital transformation, I've come across digital revolution, I've come across digital catalyst, I've come across digital kickstart. I don't know which are some of the digital something that you've come across. You can drop them there on the chat. If you have just come across the word digital, what has it come with? Is it just digital like that? I'm sure you've also heard of digital technologies. So I wanted to begin this conversation today from that level of talking about what digital is about, or just putting our mind frames to really rethinking around what we've always categorized as digital, and how is this digital impacting our lives, and how are we part of it? Whether we like it or not, I can assure you it is part of your life. Whether you know it or you don't know, I can assure you it's part of your life. And that's what we'll be looking at today. So to take note of that, for me, it's been about digital transformation, which I'm more really passionate about. I've also heard about the digital catalyst. I've heard about digital kickstart, digital revolution, but I don't know for you what you've been interacting with. So that is the point where we're beginning this conversation. And now, these have become like buzzwords, and buzzwords are basically words which we repeatedly hear. And when I was preparing for this forum, I invited a friend of mine, and he really asked me that I've always wondered what's the difference between digital and technology. And I don't know those people who are attending here, if they really have a definition about that. I don't know how many can define the difference, and maybe you could just share your thoughts on the chat. What is the difference between digital and technology, or how do they come about? But I have a simpler way of looking at it, and I premised my presentation today on arriving to technology, how we move from digital to technology. Before we go into the depth of this, I wanted to bring to your attention that today in the world, people are talking about something called data. In fact, some other people are saying that data has become like the gold. In other people, data has become like it is the oil that drives the economy of the world. I don't know, but that has become very, very much important into our lives. People want to know how many people are in a certain place, how many people are consuming a certain service, how many goods are they driving out in a day? And as a business person, as an entrepreneur, you also have to start asking yourself those questions. And even at household level, you must now be able, not looking at the big budget that I'm using 5,000 shillings every day, every month, but you should ask yourself, how many rolls of tissue paper am I consuming in a week? You should start asking yourself, how many matchboxes do we use in a month? Maybe it is so negligible for you, you just buy without a blink. Yeah, maybe you never buy matchboxes in the supermarket, you just buy it in the next kiosk. But for you, it's because the price is almost meaningless, you don't really think about them. But time has come where we really have to think about data. Why? Because this data is helping us form decisions. This data is helping us model our lives into a certain way or lifestyle, and it's helping us model our business in a certain ways. So this is what is now driving the world. So I wanted to bring us to a point of defining what I call digitization. You must have come across this word. And digitization, basically what we're meaning is that this is whereby we're just changing the form of one information to another. And this what we normally call other people, oh, you are analog, me, I'm digital. So it is that process where we are putting information which were otherwise thought as analog, and we are putting them in a digitized manner. And why are we doing that? We're doing that so that this information now could possibly be readily available. For example, in asking ourselves, how can we rethink the issue of museums? Yeah? How can we rethink the issue of museum? And we're thinking about the issue of the future of museums by thinking about virtual reality, whereby at the comfort of your home, you can visit the museum without really going there. And we are now thinking, is it really possible? Will Kenyans buy such an idea? You know, it's something that we're still thinking about, but it's an idea that his time has come, thinking about the future of museum, thinking about Kenya Archives. I don't know how many people have been to Kenya Archives, but I know if I do a sample here, maybe 80% of you have waited for someone outside Kenya Archives because you say, oh, I've already arrived at Kenya Archives, where are you? But how many people have gone inside? Why? Maybe because of how the display of the data is there. But I can tell you today, as we speak to you, there is a big project that is happening about digitizing all the records in Kenya since pre-independence. Everything that is stored in Kenya Archives is being digitized. Why? This may also open another avenue of access. It may open a revenue stream. The government may be saying, the researchers in Oxford, they don't want to pay tickets to Kenya, but they can access it. So they can be given an access when they're in Oxford or in Cambridge or in Harvard or in Dubai, whatever. So I want you now to see how digitization will open new avenues. And this is also around your business. How are you keeping your records? How are you interacting with the documentation in your office? How are you interacting with the information in your home? Digitization. Now, I introduce you to another term which I'm calling digitalization. Digitalization. Yeah. So this is whereby you are now leveraging the digitization to be able to create revenue. Using the example of Kenya Archives, you've already digitized the data. So what? So what? This is where you are now to use this data to be able to generate revenue. You're able to improve your business. You're able now to get analytics out of this data that you've already done. You have already digitized to be able to increase your profitability. You're able to increase your output. Why? Because it has brought in some efficiency, and now you can now be saying, this is how I will be working going forward. Why? Because you're already benefiting from profits, your productivity is increasing. So you are already building a culture. It becomes your day and way of life. Now, After this is where now we talk about digital transformation. And digital transformation is where I really want us to focus, because it is at the core of what I'm discussing here today. And this is whereby, because this has become your culture, this is how you're doing things, you're now transforming, you're now changing, you're now moving away from what is normal to doing things extraordinary. And this is where it will affect your products, it will affect your business model, it affects your activities, your processes. And you can only do this if you fully leverage on digital technologies. And at a later stage, we'll be talking of which technologies are we talking about. Today, consciously, I will bias because I will be mostly talking about the futuristic technologies, some of what they are called the fourth industrial is really talking about. So if you look at that arrow that I put there, is talking about the digital age. And that is what we are calling the fourth industrial revolution in some quarters. In some quarters, is also talk the digital economy, that the economy will be driven by digital. And that is what will make that is meaning that the economy has transformed from an analog technology, and now it is a digital technology. It's a transformed digitally, and now it has become a way of life. It has become a way of business. And woe unto you if you are not thinking along that line. And that's what this masterclass today is all about. It's about challenging your mind shift towards transformation. It's about transforming your mind into thinking digitally. During COVID pandemic alone, the World Bank estimates that there's been an increase of about 20% of online in terms of accessing the data online. There's been a 20% increase globally. That is quite a huge figure. And this is a time where people are distressed in terms of their income, people are distressed in terms of their opportunities, in terms of their livelihoods. But still, there was this kind of increase. So this is where the world is. So I wanted to start this point by bringing these buzzwords, what you may just hear people talking, oh, you know, we are digital, but they cannot really relate what this digital is. And I wanted to bring in the concept of digital transformation as what links digital and technology, so that there is an effect in our lives, in our way of life, in our business, and how we do things. And that's the approach that we will be taking today as we learn. And as we've talked about the digital age, and we've talked about the digital economy, there are things that are defining our lives in this space of digital economy. Number one, digital economy cannot happen. And I want you to think this at a very micro level. I want you to think about this at your business. I want you to think about this at your home. I want you to think about this at your department where you're working. How have you adopted and how have you adapted? Adoption is where you say that now we have accepted that we cannot visit Kenya archives and access newspapers the way we used to access. We can only now access them maybe through our phone. So we are adapting by buying smartphones so that we can be able to be accessing the documentation that is at Kenya archives digitally through our phones. And that is how you need to transition your business. That is how you need to transition what you do, by first looking at the adoption and adaptation. And that is how digital economy is working. Because I'm taking this approach to talk about economy, because you are in a business setup. Invest in Africa is all about business, is about entrepreneurs. Majority of the people who are here are entrepreneurs. And I know there are also techie people here, but some of the techie people do not see themselves as business people. They like calling themselves software engineers, and that, which is good. But later I will be challenging them and asking them to think in a certain way. Now, digital economy, in our lives today, there are things which have happened. Number one, there is an increased appetite of mobile payments. Forget about COVID. COVID has only accelerated some of these innovations that were there. And those people who had prepared earlier, when COVID happened, it even provided them with a lot of opportunities where they are not thought about. For example, the person who invented Zoom, I think they were just there. And for me, I used to use Skype more. And when COVID happened, these people got a very abnormal profits that they could not even imagine, because an opportunity met some preparedness. So there's been an increased demand for mobile payments. There has been an increase of supporting digital payments. There are innovations that have come up that are helping businesses to do their payments. So you've heard of people like PesaPal, you've heard of people like PesaPoint, you've heard of people like WapiPay. They're digital paying platforms. And in Africa, you've heard of people like Flutter, you've heard of people like Stripe, who have actually gained a lot of money to be able to build their innovation. So there is, digital economy is defined by mobile payments. Of course, in Kenya, we have our famous M-Pesa. Number two, there is also an increase in the consumption of digital media. This is whereby all the content that was previously being consumed through analog platforms has now been digitized. And now there is an appetite for that. This is where we now get things like Netflix, we get Showmax. There's quite a range of them. We have Viusasa and such kind of thing. There that kind of space also. There is e-commerce. E-commerce is whereby you are selling stuff online and interacting with buyers and sellers. The only interface they have is during payment and during receiving the product. So you have all this platform which have come where you can buy things online and you pay online. But I linked that with e-government, though e-government is really not important today, but I think it's important for us to know, because as you do your business, you also have to think about how the government is affecting your work. I'll choose an example like KRA. Previously, we used to file our returns by filling papers. And if you fill the papers, HR is on you, you have not submitted, the HR will almost kill you. But this day you interact with KRA directly. If you have not filed your iTax, you're finished, you know? If you are in government setup, there is IFMIS. So the government is able to do procurement through that. And there are very many forms of e-government. NHIF is now bankrolling one of them. Most of the agencies in government are now putting this in place. The other thing is about connectivity, and this touches on infrastructure. We have been adopting the 4G technology and most recently 5G technology. So this is enabling the internet to be able to carry big spectrums. It's being able to do more than it can do. And the speeds are good. And this is basically to be able to drive, this I'll call like the backbone of this digital economy. But it's a trend that we need to be aware about. The other thing is about the population growth. As the population is growing, there is a demand of goods and services. And when this demand is there, it now really also takes this digital economy to the next level. So this is more like a catalyst of doing things. There is the new ways of working, or which people call working from home. But basically working from home has always been there. But what is more important, if you go back to my previous slide, where it is now running on digital technologies. People used to work from home. You'll say that, oh, me this week I'm not coming, I'll be working from home, but you'll be seeing emails. Nothing has changed significantly. Nothing has changed significantly. But what has changed is the adaptation. People have accepted that this can actually work. This can actually give results. There were bosses which could say that, oh, you have a running nose, you must come to work. You better lock yourself in the boardroom and work, or in your office, but come to work. But now they are accepting that you can work the whole month and still deliver. This is something that had not come. So they're adapting by saying, oh, we even now need to enable you. We need to give you a satellite phone. We need to give you more bundles. We need to give you a dongle to use. Why? Because they're accepting the transformation that has happened. The other thing is about learning. And at Ubunifu, we are also doing this. You'll find that there is a lot of colleges and a lot of learning institutions. They're now moving towards adopting new learning ways. And there are also organizations who categorize themselves like, as at Ubunifu, we are an edtech. We are an education technology. That is, in the whole technology spectrum, we categorize ourselves, and we are not in entertainment, we are in education. So there is a lot of growth in around this. And for those who have children, I will encourage you to look for kidato.com. You can write it somewhere. Kidato is one of the best learning platforms for children developed in Kenya, and it was recently recognized in Africa. We're trying to build ours. You can also check Ubunifu Kids separately. It's still on our website, but you can access it as its own website. You can check it also across Facebook and all that. So that's about learning. Learning has also changed. This is still about digital economy. I'd mentioned entertainment around that. So you're seeing people how they are doing that. And this is very, very important because in Kenya alone, it is being estimated that by 2025, this will have generated a value of about 23 million US dollars, a trillion. And if you put all the sectors in Kenya together, this will be 6 to 7 times higher in terms of contribution to the Kenyan economy. What does that tell you, having that information? It should tell you that this is where I should be. Why? Because this is where the money is. This is me, I'm just a sociologist. I know how to talk with people. I don't need IT. No, you are wrong. Think where the money is going. The world is going there. The world is going there. Now, when you're talking about this digital economy, it also has people. As we're talking about technology today, and we're talking about revenues, we're talking about incomes, I also want you to think about people and really enter into the DNA of people. This is basically an ecosystem, and there's nothing new that I've put here. This is something that you all know. But in this digital economy, the entrepreneurs, they're pragmatic people. Pragmatic people are these people who are continuously painting a picture of success, futuristic. Oh, this thing will work. This thing is coming up. They're just, they're just funding you guys to go up. But they're really not doing anything. Their work is just to set the agenda. We have government whose main work is to regulate and put policies. Here we also have funders, people who have money. We have people who we call the venture capitalists. We have the angel investors. We have the private equity investors. They're all manner of investors, people who have money. We have the private sector, companies like Safaricom, Kenya Brewery. You can name them. We have platforms. We have platforms which are enabling trade, like things like Jumia, such kind of platforms. We have Invest in Africa also as a platform. We have other platforms where you can now even get digital jobs. Like maybe in this forum, there are people who are even online writers. There are people who are doing digital jobs, but they don't know who they are working for. They only know that they meet in a website called Upwork. They will say they need a proposal, they will write, and they will be paid through PayPal, and that's how the story ends. So we have those there are such kind of people. We have innovators who have built products, but those products cannot work if they don't have users. We have incubators and accelerators. These are people who help these innovators and entrepreneurs be able to build the ideas that they have birthed. You have also business development service providers. People were able now to mentor you on your business and all that. So it's a whole ecosystem. What is important here is to really find yourself, where is my niche? Do not just be so spread that where you are doing everything, but you really have not defined your niche. Why is this important? This is important so that you are able also to define your products and also being able to target. Because with this technological revolution, transformation, catalysm, all that, it is becoming to be very, very, very targeted. Technology is very specific. It is either you are using a Samsung phone and you are having a Samsung charger. If you're using Techno, use a Techno charger. That is how in a simpler way, that is how technology is. And you can take that from the smallest to the biggest example. And as an entrepreneur, as a business person, as a person who is using technology, as a person who is finding edge using technology, you also have to put that specificity and say, for me, I am good in vegetables. I want now to center on vegetables. How will I use technology on vegetables? Now, maybe I will use a drip system in my irrigation, which can be able to tell me via SMS when I should water, maybe when the leaves change. And if it tells me it's changed, I need to apply this fertilizer. And this is when I release the drips to be able to release water, such kind of thing. And this is, you now say, this is where my focus in. That is how technology works. So it is not thinking about many, many things that I go. So thinking with your audience in mind, thinking on the people who can support you in mind, thinking about ecosystems where you can grow in mind. Invest in Africa runs one of them, where they have entrepreneurs in an ecosystem where they can grow with. And I think that is something that you could put at the back of your mind. Now, all this is very important, but if we don't give it a context, I think this is all waste. And I will bring this home and really talk about something we call the digital economy blueprint for Africa. The digital economy blueprint for Africa was developed by Kenya. Maybe just to give you a bigger context, various countries in Africa have different roles. Kenya was given to talk about digital economy, and this was how African countries were thinking about, in this changing world of digital, what can we do? Tunisia was told to work with startups. Rwanda was told to rethink how the African cities should look like. And Rwanda, you'll see Kigali, all meetings that are going there, they're talking about smart cities. They're talking about how they're imagining the future of cities. How they're imagining how cities will like host conferences will be looking like. You'll see a lot of focus going to Rwanda around conferences, cities, and all that kind of thing. And next year, I want you to be very, very alert on this. Next year in April, Kisumu County will be hosting AfriCities. This is one of the biggest forums in Kenya in the recent years after TICAD that happened, I think it was some earlier, about 8 years ago. But this is a very important city happening that will happen in Kenya in April 2022. This is a huge business opportunity. For those people who are in this forum today, you can inform your and I can tell you they will not have capacity to service all kind of those guests. There will be huge interest for transport, logistics, all that kind of thing. And it's not what I may call in brackets in a traditional way. Can you think on how you can appeal to people who are coming from other parts of the world with something that is digital? You start interacting with them before they arrive in Kenya. And that is how you're putting a competitive edge over that person in Kisumu who will come and say, oh, but this thing is happening here. You should have considered me. So you clinch the business before even you step in Kisumu. Why? Because you're already digital. You're already using this technology. So this digital economy for Africa, Kenya was thinking about how economies in Africa, including Kenya, can be able to set up their economy so that they can be able to drive socioeconomic development by helping the economies to get jobs, but also by building capacities. So the green part, you can see a lot of our flag here, but the green part mostly is around government, mostly around the policy environment and all that. The red part also is looking at the pillars. What are the key components of this blueprint? And this is something that is online. I want you to read it. Just go to the, just Google Digital Economy Blueprint for Africa. It is on the ICT website. So this one I just got from that website. Where I'm also very particular about this is that the conversation that we're having today is, the centrality of it is borrowed from that ministry. So I want us to look at the pillars, but there are two pillars that I'm very much interested in. One called innovation-driven entrepreneurship and digital skills and values as a pillar of digital economy. What is basically saying here that we should acquire these skills. We should train ourselves. We should change our value system. We should think digitally. Now, innovation-driven entrepreneurship. I'll be talking about innovation later, but I want you to think about it. Do not just be an entrepreneur because you want to be an entrepreneur. Are you putting innovation? What are you innovating? What are you innovating? You know? And then below that, there's an ecosystem, which I've already explained to you. There are things like government, the citizens, there's a private sector. So all this, they have a part in playing to ensure that these pillars work, and they're supported by the policies about the emerging trends. And the emerging trends, these are what is happening. What are the things that are happening in that space? Then the integrated ecosystem is looking at how these all components in this ecosystem are able to speak to each other. Then there's the issue of green ICT. This is very important, and I'll be speaking about the green issues later in my presentation. Then the other thing is about security. But security here is talking about cyber security and looking at also issues of privacy and confidentiality. So the issue of digital economy is at the center of what Kenya is doing. You might not have heard it because we've been so lost into these things of Big Four and the politics and everything. But this is something that is happening, and it's something that is very, very good. And I encourage everyone in this forum to read about it. Just go and download it and read. It's about, it's about I think 48 pages or thereabout. I don't remember. But it's a very good document, easy to read, so that you just see where it is going. You just see where it is going. It doesn't matter if elections are next year or not. This is something that must be implemented because Kenya has already made its commitment to it. Now, so maybe you're asking yourself, Dennis, why are you pushing us so much to read this? Why is it important? Generally, for those who have met me in person, know that I always insist on people to read. And that is just my general orientation. But for this particular forum we're having today, is that innovation-driven entrepreneurship is very, very important, because this is how it will help us to help our businesses to be able to utilize these technologies. Yeah, and these are technologies like which are in social media, to data to be able to drive analytics, mobile telephony, looking at cloud solutions. How are your business using that? Yeah, how are your business using that? The other thing is this will help us to be able to drive business intelligence. We are able to know about our market, our ecosystem, what is happening. We are able to refine our business models. We're able to refine our business operations. We are able now to say, now that we have refined our business model, we can now invent something new about what we are doing. Yeah. And you know, like during COVID forced many businesses to do two things. One, some of the businesses repurposed, the other businesses pivoted. Now, those businesses that repurposed, they basically just changed something around their line of operation. Repurposing, a good example I could give is maybe you're a business who used to make soda. Yeah. But because COVID has happened, you say, we can no longer sell soda. So we will use the same thinking to change our line of production and say there is a demand for juice because people are at home, they are taking juice and it helps them not cook. So we'll be making juice. So you're repurposing your business because there is an increased demand of a product X and Y. But there are those who pivoted, who said, yes, we are making soda, but no, this business is no longer lucrative. We will now, instead of making soda, let's go into the business of maybe exporting avocado. Why? Because we can use some of our equipment to wash the avocado package and all that kind of thing, crates and such kind of thing. So you're pivoting to a new business line. Now, technology can also help you pivot where you have a competitive advantage. And that is why the innovation-driven entrepreneurship is very, very important, because you are only exercising entrepreneurship where you feel like you have the innovation power or the innovative power. And the third thing why this is very important is about refining how you are engaging with people. Remember, I told you when we were starting that this conversation is incomplete if you're not thinking about people. And people are who? Your customers and your stakeholders. People who benefit from your business, people who affect your business, people who are affected by your business. Maybe they're consuming your products and services and such kind of thing. So this is why this is important. Yeah. You can't forget about reading it about that, but if you pick these three things, you say, this is the challenge I have got from this forum, and this is what I'm going with to think about. These will be the three things that I will remind you as the takeaway. I told you I'll be talking about innovation in a future slide, and that slide is here. I wanted to dispel the idea that we have in our minds, no one has taught us about it, that innovation, when you talk about innovation, we must think about technology. Innovation is not about technology. Yeah. Innovation is basically invention and then adoption, where you've come up with something and you are thinking about how will this thing be adopted. And basically, in simple terms, is just talking about innovation is refining a process. Yeah. But better still, if you refine the process using technology, that is what makes the difference. That's what separates, if you use an example, that's what separates black and white, you know? So I want us to, when you are being asked to innovate, even at your department level, even in your home, even in your office, in your farm, do not say, me, I did not study IT, so I cannot innovate. Innovation is about a quality process. It's about refining. It's about bringing new aspects to your product line. It's about bringing value in what you do. Now, to make this conversation a reality, I thought of some case studies, what I call in case studies. I'm sure some of you have seen these companies and you know them by heart, maybe better than me. But I just picked a few, and you might know some closer to your village, your home, or whatever. And there's a company called M-Copper. I don't know how many of you know it, what M-Copper is all about. Maybe I could, I don't know if it is safe for me to do this, but you can just drop a word on the chat if you know what M-Copper is about. Anyone, just drop it on the chat what M-Copper is about. You don't have to Google, it's not an exam. So don't say, Maze, I didn't have bundles. Now I'm dead. Just give us what you think it's about. I like what someone said on the chat, Alan Okoth. He said that an acquaintance discovered from data analysis that shifting to Kisumu town, no, to Kikuyu town, sorry, to Kikuyu town will free him from traffic jam, access good school, reduce costs of, and save time with less rent for a good house. This is a very, very practical example. This is a very, very practical example. And I really like that. And that is the thinking that we're doing, because what I'm sharing today is not new. I'm just challenging you to reframe your mind, to have quality life, to have quality business, to have quality products, to have a quality customer experience for your customers, for your engagements with your stakeholders. That is what I think. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm seeing Felicitas has told us that it's about a solar company. Eric said that it offers solar products. Another person saying that it's a lending platform like solar panel. Now there's someone who has mentioned something I was looking for. Who is that? There's someone called Frederick Omolo who has answered what I wanted. So I've stopped the conversation. Now, and I don't know if Frederick gets this or he knows, but this company, if you ask many people, they will tell you that M-Kopa does solar. And all of you are right. But the reason why I chose this as an example, I chose it for a very specific example, that this company has innovated. They have done innovation. I want you to read about these companies. You can write them somewhere. Read them for inspiration. Don't go to their website only, but just Google about them for inspiration and see how they have been able to move from solar and now they're doing electronics. If you're buying a phone from Safaricom, ile kulipa na pole pole, the one that you're paying, to, I don't know, it's 20 shillings per day, or there's some phones that they are selling. Safaricom are now saying, oh, you don't, if you want a Samsung S10, even if you don't have money, there is no problem. So you can be paying 200 shillings per day. I don't know how it works. But what you don't know, you're buying that phone thanks to M-Kopa. It's not Safaricom. You can buy an LG, Samsung, fridge, whatever, through M-Kopa. And I wanted, this was just a trick question to see how many people will say electronic. And I think Frederick Omolo got it right. Yeah, and he put it so well, and he say they loan out electronics that you lipa pole pole. They have not done a new thing. There used to be a certain shop long time ago, I've forgotten its name, but you were so famous for something called hire purchase back then. But this one, you had to come there every month, and you buy, you lipa pole pole. It was the same model. ART. There are some old folks here who have reminded me. There was ART. So that is what M-Kopa has done there. So I really wanted to challenge you. You might be doing your business. You might be successful in the last 10, 15 years. But can you think about it, that how can I change on how I am offering them? There is MDAWA. MDAWA is not doing anything unique. The only thing they are doing is that if you are having a serious headache in the middle of the night, at the comfort of your mobile phone, you can access this pharmacy and you can get a medic prescribed for you medicine, and it's delivered at your doorstep. They're innovating what pharmacies is all about. They're rethinking the whole idea about chemists. Yeah. There are all those kind of other things. I deliberately went into different sectors to just think about it. I won't go through all of them. I want to mention WapiPay. WapiPay is a very interesting one. I also want you to read about them. It's about two brothers. They are twins. They started this company together. But this company, everyone is always wanting to import things, maybe from China, where. They said they will not look into Europe, America, or what. They want just to be linking Africa to Asia. If you want to buy something, most likely your payment in the background is supported by Wapi Pay, but you don't know. Why? Because they discovered that people say China is very cheap. So they want to buy things there. We want to buy clothes there. They saw an opportunity there. And how are they doing? They're putting technology around it. And by the comfort of your mobile, you can be able to do that. Now, another question, trick question. Well, let me warn you. Who can tell me what Trigger does? Trigger Foods. I'll only take 5 answers on the chat, then we close it. It's not an exam. If you also don't answer, all of you, I give you 0 in unison. They connect farmers with produce to retail outlets. Okay, Ramadan has given us that answer. Connect food supplies to market opportunities. 3 more answers, 3 more answers. Twiga is the lowest cost producer and transporter of foodstuff. Alan Okor. 2 more answers before we release the results. 2 more answers. The answers will shock you today. Produce food at the lowest bids and sell to various retail shops. Okay. Connect farmers to consumers. Ndukum tour. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is just for learning. But basically what I wanted to tell you is that if you buy unga in the 2 kg packet, most likely that unga, wherever you're buying it, in any shop or in Nairobi, most likely it has been supplied by Twiga Foods. Did you know that? Twiga Food is the largest retailer in Nairobi of all the food products that you can imagine. The reason why I put Twiga here is because this company really started as an agriculture-focused company. They still do that anyway, and they're doing a fantastic job. And this is a company that is working with retailers, and most of your answers were correct. But what I wanted to shock you about is that if you're buying these household items, things like cooking oil, things like salt, you're buying flour for baking, for ugali, all those, most likely it has been supplied to your retailer up in that estate by who? By Twiga Foods. And they are using technology to monitor the stock. Remember the issue about data? They are monitoring the stock. Let's say you are a supplier, Dennis is based in Kibera, in Makina, in Kibera, and he has a small warehouse, a small wholesale where he's selling unga. They're able to monitor my stock, and immediately my stock is at point XY, their truck will be on their way to deliver for me. And they have done that with other retailers, so they know that if they deliver on Tuesday, all of us, our products will not be over by then. So this is a very good company that we should really motivate us, and it's a homegrown company that they have been able to innovate. Why? Because they saw there was a gap in the retail sector, and they said, we know we cannot just continue supplying bananas, because after all, if we sell people unga, the flour, people will still eat bananas. So we continue doing our bananas, but we are also selling for them the other thing. And I can tell you, it is amazing. It is working. You'll look for the other companies. I want to mention them, but I want to mention only one called Wasili. All of us know about Uber, Little Cab. The other one, the green one, is called what? Bolt. But there is one cab called Wasili. This one is not known in many places in Nairobi. But those of us who are joining this forum from other parts of Kenya, especially Western Kenya, you know about Wasili. Or if you're in Nakuru, you know about Wasili. This is a company that really saw an opportunity because Uber, Bolt, and Little Cabs, because they were thinking about Nairobi only, these people thought about the other parts of Kenya. And this is a very popular cab in Western Kenya. And Western Kenya, it means the western part of Kenya. So if you're from like the whole western part of Kenya, you cannot miss Wasili Cab, and they're doing an amazing job. Why? Uber does not want to go there because they say some of those roads there are not on Google Map and all that kind of thing. But Wasili, a Kenyan product, a very interesting person from Nakuru, saw the opportunity, and this cab is already doing what Uber is doing. Why? They were able to look at an opportunity, brought in an innovation, and it's already working. And even how the owners of the vehicles join this service is quite very interesting. All this information you can read online. Sandy is there. They have a new logo, which I really love. You can read how they do. There's Scavenger Hunt. For those of you who go to look for houses in Kikuyu, you can use this at the comfort of your bed, and it can show you which houses are there, and there's some interesting innovation. So these are just some ideas that I wanted to provoke you to really think and say two things here. Some of the things that are here, they have not really invented anything. Some of us really stress themselves and say, Mimi, I'm not like Bill Gates, so what will I really innovate? No? Or what will I really invent? But continue doing what you are doing, because why? You already have experience in it. You already have information in it. You already have experience and stakeholders around it. But the question you need to answer, how do I innovate and how do I leverage technology so that I'm able to derive quality in what I'm doing? That's the question. So don't stop and start thinking of becoming Bill Gates. Now, as part of the case studies also, I told you about the platforms, you know, and when we talk, remember when we were discussing about the ecosystem, I told you there are platforms there. Why this is important, and remember in the pillars of the digital economy that the Kenya has developed, there is something about digital skills. And I told you when we were beginning this thing that I'm happy very big on skills, because skills is at the center of what Invest in Africa does. But I also say that it is very, very important for you going forward to learn some digital skills. Learn some digital skills. It can be, you know, Excel. But why don't you say, I want now to do advanced Excel, because advanced Excel can help me to analyze some data, you know? No, I just don't want to be using Facebook. I want to learn how Instagram works, because most of my clients are youths, and 90% of Kenyan youths are in Instagram. So I want to start also selling my products on Instagram. But me, I'm not a video, I don't know how to edit videos, but I want to know how TikTok can help me make a video, because I can just record with my phone and post on TikTok. And most of my clients who are youth will see it on TikTok. That is the mind frame I'm challenging you to have today. And some of these things, you can learn them, but also you can just simply shift your mind. Now, the case study that I have here, one is from Safaricom. And Safaricom has done something interesting. One, they have developed a platform which they call Daraja 2.0. And this is a portal for developers in Kenya. Why am I introducing you to this platform? I'm introducing you to this platform because after learning all these skills, and if you go read the digital economy strategy that I told you to read about Kenya, you will see that they're preparing people to get digital jobs, the jobs you can do at the comfort of your home. One of the companies you can help to do some work is Safaricom. And yesterday I was talking to the head of Safaricom, he's called Sitoyo. Sitoyo told me that there are 29,000 developers that are on that platform. I've not verified that, but I don't know if it's true, but the number really shocked me. But that's what he said they are doing. But why not? Why don't you learn data analysis? Why do you not learn data visualization? Then help Safaricom do something around that. They're already working with people who are doing that. So anytime you see M-Pesa downtown, there's something they're normally changing. Yeah, it can be coding, you can be learning Python, you can be learning JavaScript, and these things you can learn from YouTube. It is possible. There's another platform called Kuhasol. There's a new thing which I did not mention about digital economy. No, I mentioned it, the new ways of working. The new ways of working is only not about working from home, but companies are also now thinking that we don't need to employ you permanent and pensionable style. You know, that kind of style of our parents. They're saying that me, I will get pension when I retire. That was their biggest achievement. And they say, I'll get my pension. No, these days companies don't care about pension. They want to say they have this garage that they want you to paint. How many days will you want? 6 days. Here's the money, paint, and you go. So every work has been cut into small pieces. So that is also how work is changing. And it has brought something new called the gig work. I'm a gig economy. Just the way you're saying, I'm going for a gig. Normally when you're going for a gig, maybe you're going to sing in a concert just for a night and you are paid and that is over. That is how work has also changed. So you are getting people who have even remote treasurers, remote finance people, remote CEOs, remote CFOs, remote board members, because maybe you're going to bid and you don't have board members. They say you must have board members. Then you say, oh, I know Dennis somewhere, I know Elizabeth somewhere, I know Patrick somewhere. So you guys, because you have skills in this, you'll be my board members for 1 week. Once I've bid this thing, I've gotten my money, I pay you and we forget about you. There are such kind of things. So the opportunities are so big. So this is also a mind shift because there are people who are saying, me, I'm not working because only these people want to give me a contract for 2 weeks. Me, with my whole experience, I cannot take work for 1 week. You know, that is the new change that I'm talking about. But specifically, I want to mention Kuhasol. Kuhasol has these short-term jobs that you can be able to do from your home and you're able to get money. I have known Kuhasol since 2005 because I was part of the team that launched it in Kisumu at Lake Hub, and I'm very, very proud about it. It's something so good. There's also Biashara Now platform, which is run by Invest in Africa, who are hosting us here today. This is more like a whole ecosystem because it has market opportunities, it has skill development programs, there are coaches there, there are mentors there who can be able to hold hand you. And beyond that, they can also be able to link you to finance. And if you're not in that platform and you're here, maybe you could consider looking at this. All these are important towards this digital frame. And why am I mentioning all of this? All these companies are tech for business. They are focused on technology because technology is driving their platform. I will have told you to go to investinafrica.com, but there you will not find anything because investinafrica.com is their website, but they have a platform. That is the biashara.now. So you could look at it later once we are done with this. Now, here, there's something I'm calling genesis of problems. Maybe after this session, you're saying, I am changing my mindset, but I want to begin afresh. But I have said that you need to begin something. You have to do something. Or maybe you're a tech person. You say, me, I can code, but I don't know anything I can make. Here is something that I put together just to challenge your mind on where the opportunities are. Remember the example I gave in Kisumu about the Afri cities? That one speaks to the third logo about the Council of Governors. There are immense opportunities in the counties. And I want you to think on the counties, not from the county that you come from, where you've been born and you've been brought and you know this is the best place in the world. I want you to think about those counties that you've never been there before. Maybe where the county you come from is famous for green grams. Yeah, and you take so much pride about it. But you've never known if you take your green grams from Kitui and sell it in Busia, you will gain more than you've ever gained, because people in Western Kenya eat a lot of green grams than the people in Ukambani. Yeah, but there is oversupply in Ukambani. But because you have closed your mind in Kitui, you can never think that you can buy in Kitui and go sell in Busia. That is the mindset that we're talking about. That is innovation in itself. Yeah, that is innovation. So how can I be able to transfer this product, or how can I package it? How can I brand it? How can I give it a new name? Then I sell it. Yeah, that is how we can increase our incomes. That is how we can increase our revenues. Now, these 4 things that I want you to look at them as 4 things, 4 logos, 4 themes that you can think about. The first one is about sustainable development goals. Right now, all over the world, this is the thinking. In whatever thing that you do, in whatever business you are, even if you are selling sugar, ask yourself, how am I supporting the achievement of these goals? That may not be important in your village. That may not be important where you come from, but because your business, you're positioning it for success, you're positioning your business for growth, it is important. Why? Because you'll be speaking to new people. If you take goal number 1, which is no poverty, and you say, by me selling sugar, it means that I'm buying sugar from sugarcane farmers who cut the cane in Mumias. So if I don't sell this sugar, I'm not creating jobs. And if I don't create jobs, poverty continues in Mumias. That is a very abstract example I've given, but that should be the thinking. Find purpose in everything you are doing. Where is it linked to? Is it because of the sustainable development goals? Because this is a global trend. This is where things are going. If you are someone who knows how to code, you are a techie, can you make a solution that is helping people create jobs? Can you develop a solution that is helping people maybe monitor their carbon footprint? And if they monitor their carbon footprint, you're solving a certain SDG. Can you build a technology that is helping women to do a certain thing, and you are solving SDG number 5? That is a genesis of problem, because someone can tell you that, oh, you just design something. No, I'm challenging to you today, design around a problem. When you solve people's problems, you are able to get money. It is easy to monetize if you have solved people's problems. The person who came with Uber really monetized, because some time back, the people of taxis, they used to have their base. So it's for you to board a vehicle, then you go to their base, and they used to have some wooden thing there written taxi. So you have to go there first, and then you ask, oh, can you take me now to Kiambu? They tell you, no, Kiambu, there you will go with about 2,000, and we will leave you in town. So you are really at their masses. But Uber really transformed that, because they solved our problem of comfort. So solve a problem around that. Sustainability. This is now becoming a topic in everything. Remember somewhere there, I told you about green ICT. The world is talking about sustainability, looking at how your business or whatever you're doing is impacting people, how it is impacting environment, but at the same time, giving you livelihoods. Use that model of thinking, those 3 things. Those is the planet, people, and profit. And if you're very keen, look at what the banks are doing and the companies in Kenya. ABSA is, I think, the most recent one to launch their sustainability report. You're looking at even the banks are now coming with something they're calling green finance, green loans. This loan, by the way, you can get it so easily if you have a real product, or you have a business that is doing something about the environment. They're saying is, besides me selling sugar, I'm planting 2,000 trees X and Y because of this and this and that. So if you give me this loan, I will not only sell my sugar, but I'll continue planting trees. But you will also report as a bank that, oh, we finance Dennis, who is a salesperson of sugar, and has planted 2,000 trees. So it shows our bank is also responsible. That is what they want. But if you do not know that language, you will say, me, I did not do agriculture. That is not my domain. So you have to know that is the thinking. In everything that you do, think about that. And if you think about that, these problems, you're able to define the purpose. I've talked about county governments. I will not talk about it anymore. The other thing is about the Africa Free Continental Trade Area. For those who do not know about it, it's basically the markets in Africa and consolidating in one, whereby they'll be able to reduce those barriers of trade among trading each other. Now, how do you see your business? How do you think on where you want to be? Can you think about Africa? Can you think about opportunities in Ethiopia? Safaricom has gone there. What does that mean to you? Yeah, Kenyan is also there. Kenyan is also there. What does that mean to you? So look at Africa as also a potential opportunity. What can we be able to exchange? Maybe you can just go into an African country that speaks French and you just translate what you do here in English that we don't like here, but you take it to Senegal. But the fact you've just translated it to French, you're a king in Senegal. That is now the innovation. So the SCFTA has created an opportunity that we must think about. So if you develop something and you are positioning it that way, it is also good. As Ubunifu, we are also thinking about Africa. Now, considerations for the future. I talked about some futuristic technologies. I will not really go into about them, but I'll just tell you about them so that you can be able to think, and also I will encourage you to read, just develop interest. You need not to go into the details of it, but just get the general views of it. These are what are called disruptive technologies. The picture you're seeing there is in one of our labs at Ubunifu. There's the issue of big data. This is whereby I remember this conversation began from digitization, then we went to digitalization, then we went to digital transformation. So data is at the core of everything. And this is around big data that can be used to make information. This is the data that can be used now to predict way things do. And there's artificial intelligence. This is basically helping man to be able to transfer those attributes to machine. That's why you can be seeing some of the things that human beings can be able to do, and now these capabilities are being transferred to machines and all that kind of thing. So these are some of those technologies that are really defining the world, and those are some of the things that you really can start thinking around it. I know from this forum, it may be so big to really think around this, but I am just opening the door today to launch you to a new way of thinking. And as you continue reading about it and interacting with it, so when you see it, you can say, actually, I should be interested about this. And some of these technologies are already here in Nairobi. So if you want to see them, we are more than happy to link you where you can be able to see them. So I really won't get into it, but I want to talk about this because it borrows on the 4 areas that I talked about there. The question here we're answering is, where is my leverage? Because remember, we want to increase our income. So, and I said earlier that we have to focus, because when we start using technology is very specific. So you have to ask yourself, what do people want? Or what is the problem that I'm solving? And as you do those 2 things, by building what people want and you solve a problem. Solving a problem is not enough, but continue modifying the problem. Continue modifying the problem. It's better to continue modifying so that you know that this is not able to work. This is what I call fail fast. Fail fast is that you do not take 10 years to fail, take 6 months to fail, then you know this thing cannot work. Than saying after 10 years, this thing cannot work. That is a sad story. But a better story of saying 3 months, 6 months, this thing cannot work. That is a better story. Why? Because you discovered a problem, but as you continue iterating, you discovered, oh, I don't have something that I can be able to turn into a business. Then the other thing is about disruption. Disruption are the examples I was giving, like for Uber, and they came into a sector, and we have a lot of examples in the Kenyan space, like even Trigger Foods. They are disrupting retail, and very soon they will be able to give a big competition to the supermarkets. The day they just start supplying to households directly, they figure out that, then I think supermarkets will be in for a show. Disrupt, even in your village, in your estate, yeah? Disrupt. Kama you're having a business of selling vegetables, do not just say people need to come to me. And you've discovered 5 flats where there are people who come to you. Just say, no, you don't need to come. Just tell me you need cabbage for 20 shillings and I'll be delivering at 6 p.m. But you'll be delivering to 10 people, so that when you make one trip, you're delivering to house 12, house 15, then to this other flat and all that. People love such kind of things. So disrupt. The other thing is about provide convenience and efficiency. Provide convenience and efficiency. All these things I'm mentioning, at the back of it, I want you to look at where we started, the 3 things, and look at how technology is providing convenience and efficiency. And it also helps you be the first. Anytime you put in technology into the equation, you somehow look like you are the first to do something. By the way, you're not normally the first, but in terms of capturing the market, you're the first. You capture the market first. The other thing that you capture first, remember when you're doing this technology, you have to think about in 2 ways. You have to think from a business to business way, and also think about business to customer. Where are you finding your leverage? Maybe you've been dealing with the customer mostly, but actually your leverage is in supplying other businesses. So be able to determine that, then bring in the aspect of technology to do that. Now, the most important thing here also is that all this thing is not happening in a void place. I've just put, this is very summarized, but I think it should give you the main highlights in terms of where you should look at. The first part is the problem, where we're talking about needs assessment, really identifying where you fall, where is your leverage and all that. The other part where we're talking about capacity building, this is about skills. Most people normally confuse capacity building with training, but this is about skills. And skills here is not just looking at you, but saying where I work, I have 5 staff, but out of the 5 staff, it's only me who can use a computer. The other people, when you are not there, they cannot print a receipt. They're saying mkubwa leo alienda Kiambu, has not atarudi saa 8. Now they can't print anything. That is a tragedy. So can you develop the technical and the digital capability of your business? You are the only one who can post on Facebook. You're the only one who can do something. You're the only one who knows how the website works. So if there's a downtown, nobody can sort it. Build internal capacity of this thinking, of this transform with people. Then marketing, leverage the available digital capabilities to push your product. Yeah, and that is how revenues will come. And this technology will be able to drive your revenues. That's why you can see I used some small hand there that is showing that you've got some dollars. Anyway, that is what I wanted to say. So you're not just only depending on your plans. Technology now is predictive. Let me tell you, those people who have taken bank loans here will tell us that there is a time in Kenya you could not be given a bank loan if you do not have a suit. Yeah, if you're not dressed in a coat, you just go to KCB, the guard will not even allow you in. Yeah, by the time you reach the customer care people, they're not even smiling. By the time you reach at the teller, now it's bad news. The teller is warning the guards, why did you allow this guy to get in? This is not the type of clients we have in this bank. Why? Because loans were being associated with suits. Yeah. And there's a story that's normally told in every town that there's an Asian person who went to a bank. He was chased away. He was carrying a sack, but they didn't know that he was carrying millions. Then that is when the bank manager allowed him in. What I'm basically saying here is that technology can now predict your creditworthiness. They can just look at your M-Pesa transaction and say, oh, this person, we can give him this X amount of loans. Yeah. The technology can look at your online interactions and just say, this person is borrowing money's people, or this person people are really complaining about him, he doesn't pay debts. Technology can do that. But at your business also, technology can help you predict how things will look like, how trends is. Like in August, you can now say, I will need to stock more unga because people will be home. So ugali will be eaten a lot at home. And maybe December chapo, so I need to make some, forecasts using technology. And that is how you can drive your income streams. Now, there's the issue here that I normally get, mostly talking about value. And when I talk about here value, sorry. When I talk about value, I want you to think of whatever you do and always look at it in this point. Yes, it's a business, it's an innovation, entrepreneurship, whatever name you call it. But always know that you are exchanging value. And that is what either gives you money, or gives you brand visibility, or gives you a partnership, whatever it will give you. But always know it's always an exchange of value. But there's always a question of, how do I price myself? Yeah? How do I price myself? And I've just given some quick highlights here, and this mostly affects people who are offering service. I say, no, I can make for you that logo, but I don't know how much I will charge you. You just give me what you have, or tell me what's your budget. So some of the pointers you can use, you can look at the length of time that you're investing to deliver that work. Then you can say, maybe for my 1 hour, you charge me 200 or whatever, I don't know. Yeah. Look at other costs of delivery. So there's some people who will tell you, oh, that job you want, that one is 200, by 12 p.m. you have it. But you call them at 12 p.m., they tell you, I'd not paid for the city council, so they have gone away with my printer. But you had promised someone in a wedding that card will be here by latest one, I shall have it here. But when you go to pick it, they tell you this guy's machine was confiscated. It's at the county council because he has not paid his maybe license for that day. So when you are costing, also think about other costs. Maybe it might be transport, or there are people who will tell you, that thing I will deliver for you. Then you call them, what time am I getting it? But you say, you have not sent the rider, but he had not told you about it. Just say he will bring it. So think about all the nitty-gritties about that, and that can help you in terms of coming up with a price, but also building your credibility. Think about also similar past projects. When you're making a market entry, go with the basic. When you've already established yourself, now you can give premier service because you already have a name, experience, and all that. And then what other things that you give to the client? Sometimes you can maybe say, since I've made for you a logo, I will also print for you something, a t-shirt or something, just to ensure that this person is saying, oh, you printed for me a logo for 200, but oh, I have also earned like a t-shirt, which is likely maybe at 300 shillings. Human beings are psychological. They will always quote that, especially ladies. And that's why they are really targeted with this discount. So you'll see someone has bought a flask because it has been, they've sticked a soap there. No, it's because they were really of this flask, and the soap, if I add them, it makes sense. They do that math and say, then let me buy this snack. So that's how the advertising works in the background. So look at how you can really make your client that, and that's how they think that they're getting more value than what they are paying for. Then look at also your industry. Like if you're in unga, well, what is the price of unga? Like what are other traders sending and all that kind of things. Now, I'm reaching at a point as I come to a conclusion of today's talk. The call to action, I'm just saying that you adapt or die. I adopted this from someone called Darius Forex, and I'm basically making a call for you to think about adopting the digital way into your business. And the first thing is to acquire skills, accept that the world is changing. One of the biggest tragedies of our times is that even professionals like me, we know that the world is changing, these technologies are there, but you have a hidden feeling that for me, it will not affect me. Artificial intelligence will not affect me, not knowing that you're living in it. So acquire the skills that can help your value be relevant in future. Continue tracking and monitoring your environment. This model here is called it's called the adapt model. So I want you just to have it and yeah, so I remember this adapt things. So just continue on those things which are not really what we call old tactics and such kind of the ideas which we may call them obsolete, and make a daily purpose to incrementally improve on where you are towards your journey towards digital transformation. That is what will drive value for you, and that is how you will increase your revenues. Continue creating and solving. Continue creating and solving. Remember your customers, even if they buy milk and bread from you religiously every morning, ask yourself, what is the problem of these people? Most of the people who buy bread and milk in the morning, me included sometimes, most of the times we've done that, it is because of poor planning. And you will find that in the house, before that one person is dispatched, there is always a very big meeting. Oh, you go buy today, you know, there's always that kind of thing. It's always a planning thing, because no one wants to go that early in the morning to do that. So remember that adapt kind of thinking. So yeah, just put in some links which I thought will be useful for you towards this journey, and also just enabling you to think. There I mentioned Biashara now. There is the Kenya Innovation Agency, which has very good, very good insights, documentation, reports that you can look at. But also if you're patenting something or you're coming up with a copyright, there are people like you need really to look out for. I had mentioned the ICT website and the Ministry of ICT under Honorable John Michel. They're doing quite a good work. Most of it is not there because most of us are lost to this politics thing. So we are not really knowing what is happening, and also our own struggles here and there. But I'll just encourage you, if you get some time, look at it. There's also ASEC. This is an association of these startups and SME enablers. What also Invest in Africa does, and Invest in Africa is also part of that. So these are just some links I thought I should share, just to think around these and know that you're not in this journey alone. Thank you very much. I really appreciate.
Thank you so much, Dennis. We appreciate this session. So those are Invest in Africa contacts. Please give us feedback, write to us, let us know what to improve, what to work on. We'd really appreciate to hear from you.